Victor Newman has always been the leader of the Newman family with an iron fist and a sharp mind. He not only protects his family from outside dangers, but also closely monitors the actions of each family member. This time, he decides to focus on Claire Newman, his niece, who he believes is making choices that could endanger both herself and the Newman family's reputation. Victor believes that Claire needs to be tested. Will she be loyal to her family or will she be blinded by love? The person Victor is worried about is Kyle Abbott, a man he has never trusted. From here, Victor's calculating test of loyalty begins. Kyle Abbott, a member of the powerful Abbott family, has long been considered by Victor to be unworthy of Claire. In Victor's eyes, Kyle carries too many problems and troubled relationships, especially his unresolved feelings for his ex-wife, Summer Newman. Despite Kyle's attempts to prove his sincerity to Claire, Victor still doesn't believe he's the right person. Claire, on the other hand, is deeply attracted to Kyle. From the first moments they're together, Claire feels a special connection to him. She accepts a job as a nanny for Harrison Abbott, Kyle's son, as a way to be closer to him. However, this role is not beyond Victor's control. He quickly objects to Claire's nannying, believing that it's just an excuse for her and Kyle to become closer. Test of loyalty, Claire at a crossroads. Victor decides to take action. He sets up a test to force Claire to choose between family and love. This week, Victor will ask Claire to prove that she puts her family first by giving up her nanny role. This is not just a simple test, but also a way for Victor to see if Claire has the strength to resist Kyle's temptation. Claire, though fond of Harrison, agrees to Victor's request. But this decision puts her in a difficult position with Kyle. He agrees to let Claire be the one to break the news to Harrison that she will no longer be his nanny. Kyle believes that Claire will do it gently, so that Harrison will not feel hurt. However, the situation becomes more complicated when Summer Newman, Kyle's ex-wife, unexpectedly appears. Summer requests that she and Kyle break the news to Harrison together, emphasizing that she still wants to have an important role in her son's life. What is even more surprising is that Kyle agrees with Summer, ignoring Claire's role in the decision. Kyle's betrayal and Claire's pain. Claire is surprised to see Kyle quickly agree to Summer without considering her feelings. In that moment, Claire realizes that Kyle may still have deep feelings for Summer. Although Kyle tries to explain that this is just the best way to keep Harrison from getting hurt, Claire can't hide her pain and disappointment. Claire's sense of betrayal grows even stronger when she sees how Kyle and Summer work together to break the news to Harrison. Claire feels left out, as if she never really mattered to Kyle. The relationship she's worked so hard for seems to be falling apart right before her eyes. Victor's test not only hurts Claire, but also puts Kyle in a difficult position. He begins to question whether he's on the right track. Meanwhile, Victor is faced with the question of whether he's putting his niece through unnecessary pain. Although Victor always thought that family was his top priority, he didn't expect that this test would have bigger consequences than he expected. Not only does Claire feel isolated from her family, but she's also at risk of losing her love. Worse, if Claire becomes pregnant with Kyle's child, there's a chance Victor will face responsibility for the next generation. Claire, Kyle, and Summer's relationship is at a dead end. Summer, despite breaking up with Kyle, still has a strong influence on him. She has made no secret of her desire to reunite with Kyle, and her presence in Claire's life only adds to the tension. Claire, heartbroken, begins to rethink everything. Is she fighting for someone who isn't worth it? Is her love for Kyle worth sacrificing her loyalty to her family? These questions weigh heavily on Claire's mind as she confronts the reality that Kyle may be going back to Summer. The story between Claire, Kyle, and Victor remains unsettled, but one thing is certain: every decision they make will have profound consequences. If Claire becomes pregnant, Kyle will not be able to ignore his responsibility, whether he chooses Summer or not. While Victor's test may have served his purpose of protecting his family, it also caused irreparable damage to Claire. Subscribe to Yonder for the latest updates on our channel. Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victor, the powerful head of the Newman family, has always had his own way of protecting his loved ones. But this time, he decided to set up a test to test the loyalty of Claire Newman, his niece. Victor not only wants to know if Claire will choose family or love, but also to prevent her from a relationship that he thinks is not worthy: her feelings for Kyle Abbott. Victor and the anxiety about Claire and Kyle's relationship. Victor has long been unhappy with Claire's closeness to Kyle Abbott, who he thinks is not good enough to be a part of Claire's life. He has repeatedly warned Claire to stay away from Kyle, but those advices only seem to increase her stubbornness. Claire, with sincere feelings for Kyle, cannot give up on him. She even takes on the role of nanny for Harrison Abbott, Kyle's son, to have the opportunity to spend more time with him. However, Victor does not accept this. He doesn't want his role as nanny to be the reason for Claire and Kyle to develop a relationship. Family always comes first for Victor, and he decides to test Claire to see if she will choose her relationship with Kyle or her loyalty to the Newman family. Victor's test: Claire faces a difficult choice. This week, Victor sets a special test. Will Claire be willing to sacrifice her feelings for Kyle to put her family first? This is not only a test, but also a wake-up call for Claire. Victor wants Claire to realize that a relationship with Kyle may not be the best choice, especially since Kyle still has feelings for his ex-wife, Summer Newman. Claire, who has been crazy about Kyle since the sweet times they shared, feels deeply hurt by Victor's test. She doesn't want to give up on Kyle, but will she realize that he never really let go of his feelings for Summer? Kyle, Summer, and the shocking decision. When Claire informs Kyle that Victor is disapproving of their relationship, Kyle agrees to let her be the one to break the news to Harrison that she will no longer be his babysitter. This is a difficult challenge for Claire, but she believes that it is the best way to explain the situation to Harrison. However, just as Claire is about to do this, Summer appears and demands that she and Kyle inform Harrison together. Kyle, though surprised to learn that Summer is no longer seeing Chance Chancellor, agrees to Summer's request. This decision leaves Claire shocked and hurt, realizing that Kyle still puts Summer first. Claire in the pain of discovering the truth. Claire quickly realizes that Kyle's feelings for Summer have never waned. Despite Kyle's attempts to explain, Claire feels betrayed. In that moment, she understands that her relationship with Kyle may never have a chance to develop if Summer is still around. The feeling that Kyle is drifting apart leaves Claire confused and hurt. She wonders if she should keep trying or accept the fact that Kyle and Summer will eventually get back together. Big surprise, Claire might be pregnant. Amidst her mixed emotions, Claire may face an unexpected truth: she might be pregnant with Kyle's child. If this happens, it will put her in a more difficult position than ever. Is Kyle ready to take responsibility, or will he choose to return to Summer, leaving Claire alone with their child? Victor and the consequences of his decision. Victor's test of loyalty not only hurts Claire, but also sends Kyle into an internal struggle. Kyle, who has always been torn between his feelings for Claire and his undeniable attachment to Summer, must now face the reality that every decision he makes will affect the future of all three of them. If Claire is indeed pregnant, Victor may feel some responsibility. He forced Claire to leave Kyle to protect her family, but he inadvertently created an even bigger barrier between them. Claire, Kyle, and Summer's future. The biggest question is whether Claire can pass Victor's test and still maintain her relationship with Kyle. If Kyle chooses Summer, Claire will face the pain of losing not only her love but also the support of the Newman family. However, Claire is not one to give up easily. With strength and determination, she can prove that her love for Kyle is more than just a passing fancy, and if Kyle doesn't realize that, he will lose a wonderful woman. Regardless, Victor's test makes one thing clear: loyalty is not just a choice between family and love, but also a lesson in knowing how to put yourself in the right place in complicated relationships. Claire will have to find a way to overcome this challenge, and whatever the outcome, it will surely change her life forever.